Hi guys. I am going to be packing. I'll just give it a few minutes because it is a weird time to stream, but I thought I'd just do one tonight because tomorrow there is a chance that I won't be able to set everything up at the hotel when I arrive. So, yeah, I might also have to pause for a phone call. Hey, Steve. Evening. It feels so bright in here, like annoyingly bright. Let me just see if it's too dark. That's not too bad. Um, yeah, it's evening. I'm probably gonna I found a very random sentencing live stream that I haven't seen yet. I don't think other channels have covered it yet, but I figured I can put it on, have it in my earphones, my headphones, which I actually just need to connect quickly. Um, and then, ooh, this is exciting. I was playing with Suno and I have one that I think came out pretty well. That is cool. Did you manage to get the vocal to be less like singy? Yeah, so what I was saying is I was thinking like I don't know if I'll be able to live stream tomorrow because I'm staying at a hotel in Zurich. Also, I can't remember if you're supposed to say Zurich because I know I had a whole argument with someone in the newsroom about Munich and München, or however you say it, because if you say it in English, actually, do you know what? Let's just do this once and for all. British pronunciation. Zurich. Awesome. Zurich. Oh, no, that activates the phone talking. Exactly. How is it? It's like München, like MU with dots. I think I don't know if it's the same in German, but in Afrikaans it would be a double teken and then Chen. But there's no C in Afrikaans. And Afrikaans is Dutch and German mixed together. Steve, looks like it's just you and I hanging out again. So although it's only been 3 minutes and everyone comes in at 21 minutes, almost exactly. So I'm going to put this court stream on and try to figure out my life. And then I will just pop up every now and then. So this is Judge Anna Marie Azalone. I actually just want to make sure before I do this that she doesn't have a huge... Oh. Yeah, I'm not sure if I can do this one. Because it says, do not record. Okay, I'm going to stop sharing for a second. And I'm going to see... I had a whole bunch saved in a playlist, but I have not necessarily watched them entirely. Also, I need to just pause and mute myself for a second. So what I can do is...
Frank Bailey. Let's go. Yeah, make it look easy. Hey, stand up guy on 10 toes. Big body pull up in a Range Rover. I can change the whole game when I say so. I pull up, shut it down, yeah, they know. Running this game ain't a thing for me. I never switched up, no change in me. The only thing changing this season, you go against me, then you know that you tweaking, okay? Cause baby, I'm him, I be on 10. Two-stepping in the party, I do not dance. Watch how I move, make it look easy. Counting up wins, that's part of the plan. Blackmail, taking up my haters a CC. That can't fail, all my victories will repeat. I'm knee deep, need a dub, best that you seek me. I'm too sick, yeah, I know I make it look easy. Yeah, tell them don't try to play me. Yeah, I'm drippy on the daily. They can never count me out, I know. They can never count me out, I know. I make it look easy, make it look easy. I know I make it look easy.
Hey, StreamYard actually says Mike is muted now. Was that swearing? Did I just have something swearing? I just need to let Vaughn know he's gone to the shops that close at 9 to get the things we need for the trip, because I leave at 5 a.m. I have to be at the airport at 5, so I have to leave home at 4:30. So all of those last minute things. Trying to organize that. A lot of my Irish ancestors are Toms and Catherines. Oh, have you ever tried to pronounce Irish names? That is tricky. Yes. Actually do have a little bit of ancestry in Ireland on my mom's side. And I feel like there's something to do with a brewery, which wouldn't surprise me because, you know, these things run in the family. I am going to... I had such a good one. Rewatch for live streams. Don't play. So we've got the landlord-tenant docket. That we could watch, but also, sorry, my phone's on sound. It drives me insane when people's phones are on sound. But wait, this is a different one. Wow, can you tell my meds have all worn off? Literally, like goners. This is a different one. And I think this is what I made a note of because the first interaction kind of bummed me out. But anyway. So let's share this. Make it full screen.
Michigan and local community dispute resolution programs are a possible resource. Washington County Dispute Resolution Center can be reached at their phone number of area code 734-794-2125.
This is just like the before part. So let's skip past that. Private. Okay.
State of Michigan is now back in session. The Honorable Judge Jason Simpson presiding.
You may be seated. Court does call the case of Beal Properties versus Bill Short.
Let me just say quickly, there's nothing specific in here as far as I know.
On behalf of the plaintiff.
But this may be a veteran that made me a bit sad. So just a heads up for that.
All right. Yeah. You can come right up. No, you can come right up. You can come up right up to the podium. You're good. All right. Your name, sir?
William Short.
Okay. Where are we in this case?
I had a chance to speak to Mr. Short, Your Honor, and it sounds as if he is already in the process of moving. I believe he'll be out by today or tomorrow. So we just would like to dispose of this with a conditional dismissal, wherein the terms would be that he's going to vacate no later than the 1st of next month. A little bit
Okay.
of a wiggle room there.
Mr. Short?
Yeah, I'll be out of there, sir. Hopefully my VA rep, he found me another place in the city of Ann Arbor. And my stuff's all boxed up, bagged up, and
It is the guy. He's a veteran and he's having a super hard time with his rent.
all we're waiting on is the keys. And that's supposed to happen today, after they go in and inspect it, the paint.
Right.
So I'm gonna sign the lease today, and I promise you, if this don't go according to plan, I will take myself out of there by the 1st. And I do have a tent. I can still live in a tent. So I promise you, I will vacate it.
All right. You said you're working with the VA?
Yeah, I have a veterans representative. I'm in that HUD dash. HUD dash, it's like Section 8.
Yeah, no, I got you.
Yeah, and I'm in that program, but so I can't make them work any faster.
No, I got
I've
you.
been kind of on hold for like the last 3 or 4 days, all my stuff boxed up in crates, and so I promise you, sir, I'm not trying to give nobody a hard time.
No, I don't think that you are, but you're gonna be out.
So I actually bookmarked this one because I thought it was really sad and interesting that veterans don't get housing. I thought that was like something that was a given. I mean, I know that there are a lot of people on social media that are helping veterans with housing. But I thought it was like if they'd violated, if they'd landed themselves in drug court or something like that. I didn't think it was normal to not have any housing. And he's so elderly. It's terrible. I thought he would have somewhere to go where he doesn't have to like vacate himself.
Out by the 1st.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm hoping today, I don't have that much property, so it shouldn't.
All right. So they're doing this in form of a conditional dismissal. You understand what that means?
Yeah, I gotta live up to my end of the.
Right. But the case will be dismissed. Okay. And then if you move out and live up to your end of the bargain,
Well,
then what will happen is it will remain dismissed.
okay,
If you don't vacate,
I know.
right, no difference. But if it doesn't happen, okay, then what will happen is that they can then file what an affidavit, basically reopen the case.
I'm not
And
gonna lie to
then
you.
enter a judgment and threat, okay?
I'm not gonna come in here and look you in your eyes, and I'm not gonna do that and lie to you.
To look in my eyes?
Shame.
I'm not gonna lie to you about moving. I promise.
Oh, no, Mr. Short, I don't think you're lying to me at all. I just have to explain some of these rights to you and make sure that you understand that what's going on, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
I don't need you to be sending that guy to my door.
No, he won't go anywhere.
I don't need
He's
that.
got to be with me.
All right.
There's a bunch of us that wouldn't mind him sending the bailiff, and we call ourselves Thurston County.
All right.
Yeah, I've always admired you and respected you. I think you're probably one of the best in the Walton County.
I just want to read this comment out loud because I want to keep the disclaimer thing at the bottom. There's a lot of benefits for veterans. There's not a lot of benefits for veterans, really. A large number of the homeless population are vets too. Was really bad on returning vets from Vietnam. I honestly thought that they had packages and that sort of thing available. Because like we don't do it. Also, I can see that the disclaimer is cutting my face off. We don't do it here because the older army is not people we want to thank, and our current army, like you don't really meet soldiers in that much. Our current army is peacekeeping. Frankie. Our current army is peacekeeping, so they will be involved in peacekeeping relations. As far as I know, they're actually in the DRC at the moment. I might be wrong. And so we don't come across soldiers that much, but I always hear people say thank you for your service. So I thought that like if you're going to thank someone for their service, the best way to do it is to ensure that when they come back, they feel appreciated, and that it wouldn't be like you're already signing up for something that could be a life sentence, that there would be something that they could like rest assured there'll be something for them to come back to. I hope that makes sense.
I really admire you, sir.
Short, that means the world to me, and thank you very much for saying that. What branch of military?
U.S. Army.
You're an Army guy. Okay, well, and I'll say this to you and I'll pay you a compliment. I get to do what I get to do because of people like you. Yes, absolutely. And I always am, I'm always mindful of that there are those that sacrifice, and you sacrificed and I didn't have to. And so I want to thank you for that.
Exactly.
All right, sir. All right. So what I'll do, I'll indicate that this is a conditional order dismissal. All right. And I wish all the, council, the one thing that I would change in that.
Sure. I'll be able to get this submitted later this afternoon, Judge.
Yeah, if you get it submitted later this afternoon, it's going to have to indicate that he's going to have the 10 days to move. And
Okay.
Not the first, but really the 6th. And the reason that I do that is because he's going to be operating with folks from the VA. And I want to make sure that he's not stressed and just moving
That's
himself
perfectly
out
acceptable, Judge.
to keep to the end of his deal. And it's not anything he's doing. It's people a bureaucracy trying to move.
Thank
All
you
right.
so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Short. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Watching you on YouTube. I
Pardon?
see you on YouTube.
You see?
Oh. Oh my gosh, Grandpa's got YouTube. Let me just quickly sort out this this light. Oh, that's so harsh and bright. Let's just dim it a ton. So I need to call my grandpa. I only have one grandparent left. I lost 2 within 6 months of each other, and one died before I was born. But I have one grandpa left, and he's the one who the surname changed to be McCallum. So he says we spell our surname with a space. The rest of my family is adamant that we don't. But anyway, I need to phone him. And so I thought it'd be so cute to phone him from Edinburgh and be like, this is where we come from. I was still trying to make it work to go to the castle. But it's just not happening. It's an 8-hour, 20-minute train, and there's no flights. Because I thought like a flight could make sense. It does make sense. There's a certain demographic that's more apt to thank someone for their service and some that aren't. That makes sense. I just think like there's a bare minimum, like your basic needs, the Maslow's hierarchy of basic needs, those should be covered once you come back. Because you've sacrificed a lot, and some of those sacrifices will leave you in this position when you get back. So fair is fair.
Thank you. You too. Court calls the case of Westbrook Apartments versus Malu Noor.
I didn't really think this through because my laptop is here and plugged into everything, but a lot of what I have to do is not here. So I don't know how I'm going to do this. But don't be alarmed if I disappear for a bit.
Went on a rabbit hole, and then, yeah, you're like a YouTube star. You're the judge in 34th District Court. I'm thinking his name is Oakley.
I don't know about being a star.
Ah.
I just come here and do my job.
Good morning, Your Honor. Mark Schlesinger, standing in for the attorney of record on behalf of plaintiff.
All right, your name?
Azra Bazzi.
Look at all the smiles in the courtroom. Oh my gosh, that makes me so happy.
Yes, defendant two. All right, very good. All right. And where are we on this case?
Well, Judge, I have had the opportunity to speak with Ms. Bazzi this morning. She's indicated that her and Ms. Nor have filed for assistance. She's indicated they filed a DC 539. She wasn't entirely sure if the court had received it or not, but she said that they had filed it. And she said she has not received word back from DHS as it relates to their application for assistance.
Okay.
So if that's the case, Your Honor, I think we were just at our first hearing last week.
Yes, so she's actually entitled to a stay at least until next week. And I don't have second hearings next week, right? So I'd have to go to May 10th in any event.
You fine, Judge?
To adjourn it out. Okay. So I'll adjourn this to May 10, 2024 time.
12 p.m.
12 p.m. All right. Let me ask you this. You've applied for assistance.
Okay.
Counsel, how much is owing at this point?
Judge, I am showing $3,085 unpaid rent. There's $187 in court cost.
Hey Sims. Hey Brandy. Thanks Steve for like controlling the chat for me. Yeah, I am packing, and when I set up the live, I thought that most of the stuff I had to do was here, but actually like it took me 2 or 3 minutes, and now everything I have to do is not here. So I'm trying to think if there's a smart way to bring it here, but I can still hear the court. My mic is here. It would be a lot. I wonder if I switch to my headphones mic, but then I couldn't mute. This mic, is it awful? Because it might be awful. This is my headphones mic. I'm just gonna give it a second, because I wouldn't be surprised if it's bad. It's normally bad when I send voice notes. So I did like a classic ADHD packing day today. Insane. I gathered stuff all over the house into piles, and all of a sudden I have stuff everywhere, and now I've packed what I needed to pack, but everything else is lying around, and my mom's staying here with the cats. So I now have to tidy. Like, she wouldn't mind if I just put it in a washing basket or something, but I just feel like it's a bit rude. Speaking of sooner, how do you make a song longer? If I could answer that, it would be a better day. I did the extended version, and I don't honestly know how it extended it. It felt like it put 30 seconds of silence at the beginning, which in my opinion would be much easier to download it as it is. And then Audacity is a free audio editing software that is really easy to use once you get the hang of it. But also, if you are unsure, there are so many YouTube videos on how to do it. Is this mic okay? Before I walk out of the room and talk and it's horrible. Anyway, if you go into Audacity, you can add silence in the beginning, or you can take like a part of the instrumental and add it to the beginning. Sounds solid. Great. That works, because then I don't have to keep coming back to talk. I just have to be smart about not interrupting.
$3,272 presently. So if we,
Right. But then,
yeah, if we
what's
back in May,
what's your monthly rent?
1,600.
Sim, is it tin canny in a way that's gonna annoy your ears, because I don't mind it. Like, I genuinely will not be upset if it is too tin canny, because I can't listen to that. Nope. Okay. Awesome.
1,500. Okay. So
So we're looking at somewhere in the ballpark of just short of $6,000. $5,000.
5,000,
I went to
just short of
law
5.
school, not math school.
Okay, so
Well, here you catching
So-
with cats. The cat's sleeping.
let me ask you this. How are you guys intending on trying to get this paid?
So, I get paid weekly, so I'm paying as much as I can from that. And Malu's gonna get a job soon, so we're gonna
Okay,
get that paid as well. And, yeah, we should get, we're still waiting on a payment, in May too. So
still waiting on
we should expect a payment in May from school,
from school?
yeah, so that should help as well.
Why is the school
Okay,
paying?
you gotta help me with that. What kind of payment from school? Student loans?
Refunds, yeah. and-
Student loan refund?
Yes.
Okay, so where are you in school?
I'm enrolled in Lansing and Malu's enrolled in, Washington Community College.
Okay. So have they told you when those refunds are gonna be issued?
Not mine, but Malu's sometime in May. Not sure what exactly when.
Okay, so. All right,
But until
so
then,
let me ask, she signed up for classes for the summer? Okay, so. Those begin, and the only reason I teach there, so they. Those, my class ends. Okay, so that refund
He teaches there.
certainly isn't gonna get here by the 10th, because classes start second week in May, I think. And then the refund's not gonna come until after that. Okay,
yeah,
so it may get there at some point. Other thing that worries me is the only assistance, so you're waiting on those refunds. You applied through DHS.
I have it.
Okay,
You're
and that's the only assistance that you've tried to see?
Yeah,
Okay. Is there a reason why you didn't call Hawk, Housing Access for Washtenaw County?
no, I can give them a call. I just forgot that they existed.
Okay, and here's the reason I'm gonna tell you that. Although it's called state emergency relief, it by no means is gonna even cover any of this.
Right, I'm working right now. I work 2 jobs, so I'm gonna be paying as much as I can.
Okay, I know. All right, but you're gonna be staring down the barrel of $5,000, right? And that's trying to get there, trying to get that paid is gonna be a bit of a problem, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So when do you next get paid?
I get paid on Thursdays.
Okay. And so on Thursday, how much are you going to be able to put toward your rent?
The least I'll have is 400. Might have more.
You'll have 400?
Yeah, might have more. Today I can pay 200.
Okay, so you can pay 200 today, and then you think next Thursday to be about 400? Okay. So is Amy in the building or she on Zoom? Hello, Amy.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Um,
I will
this
be,
is Amy.
just to,
Pardon?
I will be there for the 11 o'clock docket. That's my intention.
Okay, you're gonna be in building at 11
Or
for the 11 o'clock
for the
docket?
11 o'clock, like, yeah.
Wonderful. Here's what I want you to do, young lady. I want you, because I'd like for you to speak directly with Amy, okay? To basically try to get your other avenues that may be able to help you do this, okay? So you can get all of those things, because otherwise what's going to end up happening is, as I'm looking at this, you're not going to be able to catch up,
Why?
okay? I mean, I'm just doing the math, okay? But I became a lawyer, so I didn't have to, but I think I could do this math. You're not going to catch up. And so you're going to need something to kind of get you over that hump, and then try to be able to maintain yourself with your employment, your other things. Make sense to you? Okay, so what I want you to do, what time are we at?
About 10:35, Your Honor.
10:35. Okay, so I've adjourned this out to the 10th of May. I need you to wait here. Amy will be here. She's a wonderful person, and I want you to talk to her, okay? Amy, did you want her to call Hawk now to get an appointment?
Yes, please. That would be helpful.
Okay, thank you. You have your cell phone with you? Okay. So when I play the video, did you see the Hawk number?
I did, yeah.
Did you write it down? No, I was on the video and you didn't. Okay, fine. All right. Can we give her, we'll give you the number. Need you to call them, okay? But listen, they'll go through some questioning, and if they give you a date for an appointment, it's going to be sometime in the future. Just take that appointment. Okay? Even though, they know what they're doing. So don't argue with them if they give you a date in June or July and you say, well, my court date is, don't argue with them. Just take the date. All right. And then when you talk with Amy, we'll be able to do that. Okay. All right, young lady. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'm guessing
Westbrook
that happens a
Apartments
lot.
versus Desiree Ross.
Morning again, Your Honor. Mark Swessinger, standing in for the attorney of record on behalf of plaintiff.
And there's Desiree Ross, James Ross, and Nicholas Gross. Yes. Who do I have here on Zoom?
James Ross.
James Ross and Desiree Ross. I got it. Okay. All right. How much is the claim in this case?
Judge is presently due and owing $2,296.00, $205.50 court costs, total $2,501.50.
Okay, folks, how were you in?
I just yanked my SD card out of the laptop without ejecting. There's so much that could go wrong in that sentence. And yeah. Anyway, I'm in love with the bailiffs. See, Chidi, we have a club called Thurston County where we appreciate the beautiful bailiff. Brandy says, I think Simpson originally got so much traction due to the bailiff, and then they liked his judging. Absolutely. I also don't know if this is going to be a bit of a boring one because I only watched the beginning of the vet and then I made a note that I need to come back to it. Also, how many socks is too many socks? Because I currently have about 10 pairs and I'm going for 5 days. Like, why?
You're intending on getting this paid?
So we did have some questions because
Okay.
so at our previous hearing, we've been out since March the 4th, and Nicholas Gross was supposed to continue making the payments, and he did not. And we tried to sign a notice to vacate, but because of this situation, Nicholas has not been in contact with us. We've reached out to him multiple times. He was still talking to us in March. And he was like, I'm going to make the payments. I'm struggling. I'm going to make the payments. So we said, okay, well, we'll pay $1,000 towards it, which we have made all the previous for the length of the lease, we've made all the payments. Nicholas has not made any payments. And then he was supposed to take over as of March because we moved to the Upper Peninsula because I got a job at Munising Correctional Facility. So Nicholas was supposed to take over everything. At the beginning of the March, I kept saying, hey, you got to make the payment. Don't forget to make the payment. He said he was going to make it. And then we said, we'll pay $1,000 to help you, so you only have to pay like $500 odd left of what is due for rent for March. And he said he was going to make it. And then we found out he also moved his girlfriend down and the dog. And he said, I'm going to go to the housing and let them know we have the dog because now he has to pay a deposit for the dog. So I kept texting him like, hey, make sure you make the payment because you're accruing late fees. And then he said he was going to make a payment. He told us that we stopped down like the second week of March to get a couple things because we also had a business down there that he was supposed to be the GM of. But because we ended up closing that location. But we went down and get stuff. He's like, oh yeah, I dropped a check off on Friday. So I was like, great, you dropped your check off. He said he talked to them about the dog and his new roommate. And then towards the end of March, like March 25th, 26th, I happened to log into the apartment app and saw that it still was not.
Oh my gosh, lady. Be brief, be bright, be gone. I'm here because X, Y, and Z. Look at the judge's face. He doesn't care about what you had for breakfast on the 3rd of March, 2019. Why? Also, let me check chat quick. Can buy more socks if needed. 100% because Primark, we don't have Primark here. I don't think you guys have it there, but Primark is very affordable clothing, and their socks, I don't actually have to stand for this part. Their socks are, so Vaughn and I are doing contemporary dancing, which is fun. He's doing it because it was something I wanted to do and I was alone in the class, so he decided to join. Anyway, we're doing contemporary dancing and socks have to be like a little bit slippery, but not super slippery. And I bought a 7-pack of Primark socks for, I want to say £2, which is no, not to rands. I want to go to USD. $2.51. I got 7 pairs and they are the best ones for dancing. I think it was his human approach to things. If people are trying to do the right thing, he gives them a bit of room. You start to test his patience, the hammer comes down 100%. And I promise you, I will finish the one about the mold. I will come back to it. I actually think I want to start it from the beginning and do it at a point where we can watch the whole thing. I am also bummed I couldn't stream yesterday because I don't know about you guys, but I felt like there was literally nothing to watch. I landed up watching old Law Talk with Mike, and I don't know how I feel about some of his humor and stuff. I don't know if I feel super comfortable there, but it was interesting. It was a year ago. So, yeah. But I could easily have fitted that whole mold thing into last night's stream. Start a hobby of collecting interesting socks from your travels. That is a good idea. And I do hope to travel a lot. But I do also hope that Vaughn and I can do the life partner visa because visas are so pricey and so stressful. I literally have a cold sore starting here. And my skin has broken out like I'm a teenager because I was so stressed about this visa. Like, I honestly, we booked, so he's going for work, I get to stay for free. We had to pay for the flights and the visa. The problem is that the visa, there were no free appointments. So I paid, I can tell you now how much it was. I paid $216 for the visa application. That's normal, all good. But then there were no free appointments. So I had to pay an additional $216 to get the appointment. And you can't get the appointment, you can't get the visa without the appointment. And then the visa hadn't, like I hadn't heard anything about it yet. So I was stressing about that. And because I'm flying just like economy with hand luggage because he'll take the bag. We booked a cheap flight with Swiss Airlines, and the cheaper flights don't come with a refund. So if I didn't get the visa, all of that would have been down the drain. I think we might have gotten like a percentage of a refund, but not the whole thing. So anyway, that was stressing me out. Back to Judge Simpson.
Not paid. So I called him and left him a voicemail. I'm like, hey, you told us you were going to pay this because we asked him multiple times before we moved. We said, if you can't afford the apartments, that's fine. We have to submit our 60-day notice. We have to pay the buyout. You just have to let us know. And he reassured us multiple times, like, I'll take care of it. So we believed him. We gave him the benefit of the doubt. He hadn't been paying for rent for almost a year. So I
Okay,
reached back.
can I stop you for a moment?
Yes.
Thank you. So the issue here is they are suing for possession of the premises only.
Correct.
The two of you, if I understood you correctly, you guys are in the UP now. I don't know what those balloons are.
UP?
I gotta turn them off. I don't. All right, so that you know that I operate off a state system, and somehow we have to turn it off, but I don't know. I'll figure it out. I like the balloon. So anyway, so they only want possession of the premises back. They're not suing you at this time for any money damages or anything along those lines. So one of the ways that you could do this is just consent to give them the property back. Mr. Gross is not here. They could take a default as to him, and then it's 10 days. There won't be a money judgment. There would be a judgment, but that's it. If they come after you for the money, the reality of that is everything that you just explained to me may be something where you have a claim against Mr. Gross because you weren't there and he was supposed to take it over.
Yes, we have been out since March, and I did talk to the housing department, and I asked if we could sign a notice to vacate, and she said because of the situation, we couldn't sign the notice to vacate until he signed. So they were supposed to do a
I'm so
welfare check
confused.
because I said he's not in contact with us. He won't communicate with us. He texts me for legal reasons. He can't talk to us. So we don't know if he's there. They were supposed to check if he was still there, but we have been gone since the beginning of March. So from our end, from the Ross family standpoint, we're not there. The apartment is yours. But as far as we know,
Okay.
I need to pause. Okay, bye. Sorry. No, we're not on the same flight. I leave when do I leave? I need to be at the airport at 5 a.m. I fly at 8:40. He's got to be at the airport at 8 p.m. He flies at 11 something. I connected Zurich. He goes direct. And then on the way back, I connect in Zurich and Joburg, and then I'm here. Michael's a former prosecutor, and it shows most of his stuff is for the humor. Yeah, I think so. The thing that got me a little was like where there was clear mental health things, and like I have such a dark sense of humor, but I struggle with the difference between like I struggle when people are laughing at someone and it feels like their mental health is the joke. Like that makes me feel a bit weird. But he might have also grown up since then. Have you run across Runkle? Yes. Sometimes I watch Runkle. Sometimes the content isn't necessarily up my alley. So I watched the video about the corn in the live trial. I've actually just saved Friday Night Frenzy. I think it's like 4 hours 30. I've downloaded that for the plane. Thanks again to YouTube Premium. So I've got that to watch. If you're looking for fun tomorrow, check Publicly Buzzed Murder Church. They're starting the 4th season tomorrow morning. Publicly Buzzed Murder Church. I've also been watching a lot of this. What is this? Like, because I also feel like my brain got a bit tired of really depressing true crime stuff. So I've been watching a lot of these like I don't know if you can read that. No, it's way too small. It's like Karen Court. Like of course there's no examples right now. Trainwreck completely ignores direct orders and is shocked when father gets custody, like that kind of stuff. I can't stand Rob. That's interesting. I like Rob. Sometimes Emily Baker's a little bit touch and go for me. It depends on my mood. But yeah, I just want to show you guys. Let me make myself semi bigger for a second. I just opened my Kindle cover and found all my postcards from France. There's that one. This is beautiful. So whenever I go somewhere, I will grab postcards because they actually make the perfect framed pictures. So like if you see that one up there, that is actually a legit fabric pattern, like genuine fabric pattern. That's some dead flowers on an old book page. That is, you can't really see it in the picture, but that is, we went to a wine farm and this was like the map of the farm, but it had flowers and stuff on. And then that says fantastic is a birthday card that I bought for dirt cheap. And then these I'll put in frames or like, yeah, it depends. But just want to compare notes. I have a few Lord tubers that I dislike also. Oh, that's for Cicchini. Look, there are some that I just don't vibe with. Kurt is one of them. Not my cup of tea. Goes a bit far back and goes back actually to Depth v. Heard. Also don't like DUI guy from that kind of stage. And I think there's just some people that you either click with or you don't. I mean, like, I freaking love Dr. Mike on YouTube, adore him. My family members cannot stand him. This light also feels very white. Ah! My thoughts on YouTubers is take them with a grain of salt. It's the chat that fawn all over them and consider their word gospel and want to direct everything back to and get their opinions that bothers me. Yes, this is the thing. Yeah, I think it really is like it's personal opinion and it's personal vibes. Sometimes I might start watching something and just intuitively I don't click with the person and like they'll have thousands of followers and they're just not my vibe. They're just like, I think that it really is just like not everyone's going to be friends with the same people, right? Like there are things that some people online do that might trigger me and it's nothing to do with them. It's not a bad thing. It could even be tone of voice. Like I'm very sensitive to tone of voice. So I just personally will not watch them, even if their message is cool. Like I will 100% support other people. Like they haven't done anything wrong. Obviously, if they do something wrong, like you're never going to find me watching James Charles or Jeffree Star. You're just never going to find me doing that. But if it's just someone that I don't like their voice or I don't like whatever, then yes, Recovery Addict is very addictive. I've actually also downloaded an old trial of his. Wait, I'll tell you which one it is now. I downloaded the first 3 days. Also, you guys are distracting me. Like literally, I'm supposed to be getting ready. But I downloaded I downloaded Black Widow Murder Retrial. The pre-evidentiary hearing. It's a guy that looks like a lady. That one. Because I won't be able to watch on Monday. Well, I'll probably be exploring and whatever. So I'm gonna watch that. But at the moment as well, I'm just taking a break from like, guys, I literally I had such a traumatic dream because of that Airbnb trial that I clearly like it. I write about and research true crime every single day of my life. And a lot of stories don't bother me. They just kind of like I go into journalist mode and it's nothing. For some reason, the Airbnb one really bothered me, and I like genuinely want the accused to do well in life. I wanted like my ultimate would be not guilty, and the lawyer on the other side, um, that lawyer for her to take him under her wing because she really does like I know that she ruffled a few feathers, but she's an advocate and he could be a very good advocate. I feel like I just got really frustrated by it. Anyway, the point is I I just did what I told that lady off for doing. The point is that like I got a little too my brain clicked onto it too much. I don't know if there's something in him that I saw in myself, you know, that whole like you've got potential and all that. But I dreamt about gangs trying to get us and like things firing. It was so traumatic. And I dreamt about it on Thursday night. Yesterday morning, I had my session with my psychologist, and that's like I've been going to for like 5 or 6 years. Like I just maintain instead of like having a crisis and then going back. And I said to her, like, I know this is ridiculous, but I have to talk to you about this trial. And she was my psychologist when I was doing journalism. So we've spoken a lot about secondary trauma and how to like make sure that the true crime stuff doesn't affect my life. But it was like, you know, when you have a dream and it's so real that you actually wake up traumatized. It's because RA is so non-judgmental and accepting, but also that's because he has been in journalism for a long time. So he is objective. And that is something like I think probably out of the whole of LawTube, Lawyer You Know is probably my favorite because he plays that devil's advocate role so often. And I find that he prefaces opinions before he says them, and also he explains what he's why he thinks that and what the other chances could be. So like Apple River trial, he thought not guilty because of this, but he could also see that it could be guilty. And that's kind of more my vibe. I want people to be looking at both sides as I've gone through in the whole gag order thing. I work with dreams, lucid, sleep paralysis, etc. I honestly like I've always had bad dreams. I've got childhood trauma from here to forever, but I am pretty used to them and they'll generally go in themes. And then once I figure out the theme, like I'll just journal for a while. And then once I figure out the theme, I'm like, okay, got this. Like a lot of my psychology sessions is me just understanding my brain. Like I'm not venting to her. I'm just like, can you explain scientifically why this is happening? And basically what happened was I was in a high anxiety mode. So my adrenaline had spiked. And so I was scanning for danger and taking in things in a danger, like everything was dangerous. And then I wasn't sleeping properly because my adrenaline was spiked. So it was really simple, but I just needed to know that. That's also true. I reserve the right to be wrong as I have been before. Exactly. Rob is hot. Not 100% my vibe, but yeah. Like, he's got a notebook-ish vibe. I don't know if it's just because please tell me someone else has watched all of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. You know that if you have that episode where Scott is trying to be like Ryan Gosling and he's like, I can't quit you. That's what comes to mind when I say that. Anyway, let's watch some court and let me that's what started my journey. They tried to med me up at 3 for trauma dreams. So I started learning myself and try to help those who don't have the option. Like there's so many times when I could have just done with someone really good in psychology, and I'm so glad I have that now because my psychologist is a game changer. Like we laugh about a lot of stuff that would not be normal for like most people. You know, like I don't want to be like handled with kitten gloves. Is it kitten gloves or kit gloves? I don't know why I can't remember that. But I don't want someone to be like, "Oh, shame." Like I'm a tough cookie. If I'm coming to you or something, I'm coming to you because I want your professional opinion. Brandy says, "Go pack." I know I'm about to go in a whole rabbit hole. I think that so I'm not going to bring those up, the comments that are there now, but I think that came over time, if you know what I mean.
Living there as of the middle of March, but we can't confirm. And the apartment was supposed to, so I don't know that they did or they didn't. But the apartment's not in our possession any longer.
Are you guys married?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Ross, you do a very good job of just sitting there being quiet. You have not said one word. So here's what we'll do. Rather than even making it a consent judgment, what I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a default judgment as to defendant 3, Mr. Ross, Mr. Hold it.
Gross.
Mr. Gross, right. For defendant 3. And then I'm going to find no tribal issue as to defendants 1 and 2. That'd be the 2 of you. And grant a judgment for possession to the plaintiff. And an order of eviction would enter in 10 days, but that's really not going to have any bearing on you guys. And that way, if he doesn't come up for air, respond, do whatever, then they're going to go in and they can take the premises back and do that. And then any issue regarding what monies may be owed is probably going to be a fight for another day. Should they try to find you guys and do everything. How's that sound?
Good, sir.
That sounds. Thank you.
So finally he says something. I was shocked. I didn't know if he was connected to audio. I didn't see his light up at all. And all of a sudden it did.
11 years, I'm learning.
To the extent that you care or the grosses care, I will say this, that my client has gone and done an inspection of the premises. Looks like Mr. Gross is out, but there is some property remaining in the unit, is my understanding.
Okay, but that's not your property, so they've done that. Okay, so I'm gonna do it that way, and then you guys are all set.
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you.
So if there's something else that they need, someone will reach out to us, right? We don't have. Now, is that what's happening, or?
I think from my client's end, as long as they get the judgment, they'll go in and move anything out that's not there, assuming it's not gone after. I've got a writ date of 5/6, Your Honor.
Yes.
Okay. So no, we should be all set. If there's an issue, as Judge Simpson indicated earlier, if there's an issue with the money later, my client can pursue that, whether they will or won't. I don't know the answer to that question right now, but yes. And if you guys want to try to square it up with them or do something, you're always welcome to reach out and see if you guys want to do something. I know that you've got your own issues with Mr. Gross, and you guys can sort that out between the 3 of you if push comes to shove.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
No,
Thank
we want to
you.
hear
You
those
guys
issues.
take care of each other, please.
You too. Thank you.
Have a good day. Thank you.
Right.
Shady again.
Huh?
You got shady there at the end.
Yeah, I know. I started talking. I'm like, really?
Thanks so much, Your Honor.
All right,
Did you submit that by my file?
Pardon? We don't have my file, but you can send it to us by email too.
Oh, yeah, perfect. Excellent. We'll do it. Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
Thank you. And that's it for that block?
Yes, until.
Till 11, what time am I at? 10:45? Okay, but you guys are gonna do the movie and everything. I'm gonna give my friends a tour. What? We're in recess. Really? Why do you wait for me to say anything? You just do what you gotta do.
Okay, I'm coming. I was in another room. Okay, let's see. Recess. Why is it going to the movies, by the way?
You're welcome. I know I had to think what you were talking about.
Okay. Are you coming back?
Days and extensions for that.
You may be seated. Let's call the case of South Washington Properties versus Rebecca. Is it Wojcik?
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Jensen, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff.
Wojcik? Not present. Would you like to take it?
I would, Judge.
You raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear affirm testimony you're about to give will be the truth, whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do, Your Honor.
America.
Your Honor, the books and records in this matter indicate past due rent in the amount of $610, filing fees and service costs of $144 for a total amount due $754. I don't believe there was personal service.
There was not.
Okay.
All right. Judgment to the plaintiff. That is by default for possession. Redemption amount, any amount requested with a writ issue in 10 days.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Case of Cass Industries LLC versus Denise Phillips.
Good morning, Your Honor. Brian Marcus on behalf.
Oh, it's a blank screen. Okay. All right.
And Your Honor, Callie Dendrinos of Legal Services on behalf of Ms. Phillips.
All right. And where are we on this, folks?
Your Honor, this is a termination case. However, my client has received money and in April, and therefore we're going to need to refile or dismiss and take further action.
Any objection to the dismissal?
I do not, Your Honor.
All right, case is dismissed. Thank you.
Thank you, Your
Why
Honor.
couldn't they
Have
just
a
do
good
that before?
You do the same.
I love how I ask a question but can't see chat for the answer.
Case of Sycamore Meadows versus Tyrod LaFleur.
Again, 67390 on behalf of plaintiff. Your Honor,
And Your Honor, Callie Dendrinos appearing on behalf of Alex Henry, who's the defendant in this matter.
Got it.
Judge, we sent over a stip to adjourn. I know that it wasn't within the 48 hours that you require. However, we are asking to adjourn this. Mr. LaFleur, if you remember, went to, had a Hawk application pending. We verified that with Amy last week. I sent over myself the lease, the ledger, and the W-9, and that was sent over yesterday.
Got it.
To Hawk. And so we were just asking for an adjournment because hopefully, it's my understanding that everything looks good on the Hawk end, and hopefully we'll be able to resolve this.
All right. That will be, my next available date is May 10th.
Okay.
2024 at
1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Next.
Sycamore Meadows versus Denisha McGuire.
Of plaintiff.
Good morning. What's your name?
Denisha McGuire.
All right. Where are we with this case?
I spoke with Ms. McGuire this morning. She said that she was approved for DHS in the amount of $1,400, that she also has a Hawk appointment. I spoke with Amy briefly about this case as well. Her Hawk appointment is May 13th, but in speaking with Amy, she's going to expedite it for me.
Okay.
And I'm gonna get Amy whatever she needs, like I did on the other file. So I believe we need an adjourned date on this one as well, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If I do the 10th, we'll at least have some information, Amy.
That's correct, Your Honor. I just want to know what is due today and then what would.
Okay.
I'll give her the numbers, Judge. What I showed you right now is the $5,309. And then the 468 is what I believe, Judge.
So. And our monthly rent is how much?
$468.
So we'll be in the $5,800.
58, almost 58. Yeah.
So I guess my question's gonna be, if 1,400 is coming from DHS, then I'm still gonna be at about what, 44?
I'm sorry, what, Judge?
Well,
I think I have good news. I think the only thing that I still have to pack is my laptop and all of this, the mic and all of that next to it, and then my toiletries, which obviously I can't pack until I've used them. Everything else is charging, going. Actually, my GHD is not packed. It also might be on the brink, so there's that. But I think I'm pretty much packed, and it is 8:45, which is not bad.
oh,
Amy said that she probably will get approved for the 3,000.
okay.
So that before we added May, but Miss McGuire is saying that she made a $200 payment between last hearing and this hearing. So I'll double check on that one as well. So I told her it looks to me about 1,000, but with the May it would be about 14, right?
Well,
basically, to answer that, it is not. It's technically based on YouTube's copyright standards, but it has to be transformative or commentary or whatever it is. Hence, I've got the little thing at the bottom because I can't be on the camera all the time. But yeah, it's because of it's YouTube's Copyright Act. But yeah, technically, I think it would be difficult for someone in the US to bring a case against me for something else, as far as I know. I could be wrong. I do know that we don't have an extradition with the US, I think, because we had, I need to remember, but there was this terrible case. The guy and his girlfriend traveled here, and then her in a hotel room, and her family came over and all of that, but he didn't get extradited. So he's now in prison here, which is probably 50,000 times worse than a US prison.
if she gets you got approved DHS 1,400?
No, it was 400.
Oh,
400.
I'm sorry.
Okay, I was wondering because
I'm sorry.
No, that would have been.
I was a little, I thought it was a lot too, but okay.
Okay,
400.
so if I just ballpark these figures, I got 58. And if you get the 3, then the problem I see is that we're going to be at, that's 2. We got 2,400.
I'm also able to make a payment.
That's a lot of money.
What do you say?
She's gonna make a payment on Tuesday.
Okay, so you think there's 200 that may not be in these numbers?
I know that's not, because the ledger I have is from last week. So if she made a payment between last week and this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said you're gonna make another payment when?
On Tuesday.
This Tuesday?
Yes.
Which will be the, what, 30th?
The 30th, I believe.
Okay, and so how much are you gonna make on the 30th?
I can probably put down at least 5 or 6.
5 or 6?
Okay.
Okay.
Well, it's probably not a lot of money in the US.
So that's gonna be on the 30th.
But that would be more than a company in the US paying South African full-time would
So
be.
let me ask you this.
Like Amazon has tech people here.
If all of the other monies come through with this 24, so we've already included May, And if you get 6, you're still gonna be about 1,800.
Mhm.
So,
I can
Yeah,
still-
you're
I
right.
can-
It would be civil.
What do you
It would be
say?
civil.
I can,
South African prisons are, whew. So besides the gangs, there's like 60 odd people in a cell. There's a lot of cells that can't even, you can't lie down. There is a Ross Kemp episode. I'm busy cutting a thing for my wrist brace because I have a strained thumb, but also people are much kinder to me if I have a wrist brace and I can't lift my bag. I know it's ridiculous, but I'm short. I can't reach the overhead thing in the airport and in the plane, so people were nice to me. I'll see if I can find the Ross Kemp thing quick. It's Ross Kemp on gangs. La la. Wow, I wonder if I can. Oof, YouTube is quite a lot. And a lot of the videos are very old. I'm trying to see if there's one that I can play. These all look. Also, please don't go to Vox for anything to do with South Africa. Like, I just saw one of their things come up. It is actually. I do not agree with their methods of journalism sometimes. We're also part of BRICS, so it is Brazil, Russia. What is the I? I should know this. I can't remember. South Africa. So yeah. Does that link come through okay? It's very rough. Like there's a lot that I can't play without getting flagged, but yeah, it's super hectic. Okay, cool. The video did come through okay.
I can try to do it.
okay, I know you're gonna try. I'm just trying to figure out how you're gonna be doing that. You get paid every other.
I get paid every 15th and 30th of the month.
Okay, so more funds won't be coming in until May 15th. Okay, and is that? I know it's hard to figure out because you got other stuff you got to do, but is that going to be around that $500 or $600 figure too, or you don't know? Pardon?
I can try to make it.
He just wants to make sure that you're paying what you're, okay,
Yeah, I'm just trying to
I know.
trying
Don't
to
promise
see a
more
light
than you
at the
can
end of
do.
the tunnel and how we're going to get there. Okay, but because I don't know, Amy, are they? So I know with DHS the 400 won't. That has to be at the end.
Right.
So with the, if, let's say she's approved for the 3,000, as long as there's a mechanism by which she pays it, is that how we're working, or does she have to have that paid?
She needs to at least either have it all paid, so I can submit a request.
Okay,
Or if it's from any community agencies, they just need to commit. The commitment is good as, or need to move forward.
okay,
Either way, all of it has to be vouched for before I put in.
before you can put in the request. Okay, you got that?
Yes.
So we have to, So when you come back on the 10th, we gotta have a clear plan in place as to how you're gonna do this, okay?
Okay.
Fair enough?
Yes.
I know you're gonna try, okay?
Yes.
But, let's try to make sure. So I'll adjourn this to May 10th, 2024 at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Judge. Have an amazing weekend.
You do the same.
Can't help
Court
but
calls the
feel like I've
case
forgotten
of
something.
Monica King versus Sarah Goebbels. And Aaron Goebbels.
Ah, my watch doesn't have a battery. Pants. I've got all the things.
Hey, your
My mom
name?
was here.
Hi, I'm Monica King.
Okay.
Good morning, Sarah Gold.
My mom came by to just see me before I go. And when she walked in and saw the stuff everywhere, she was like, okay, I think we need to start putting things in the bag. And then literally went through every single day's outfits and everything with me like I'm still her child. So that was super helpful, and I think that I should do that every time. Will you be vlogging from Scotland? Yes, I am going to. I'll be vlogging the trip, and then I'll also try to do a few lives. In the evenings, Vaughn's work, he's obviously there for work, so they often do business dinners. And the last time I didn't join because it's a business thing, and sometimes I get back late from whatever I'm doing. So I'll probably do lives in the evenings there, which will be 1 hour behind here. Yes, Steve, it helped. Like, my mom is the best person in the world, honestly. And I am so stoked because I also just like it's been such a stressful week. I just needed my mommy. Like whenever I'm stressed, sad, tired, sick, like Vaughn knew from I think it was like our first or second date. He knew that there are some things that sometimes when I need my mum, and it doesn't matter if he is also an amazing human. I like my siblings joke that my mom didn't cut the cord or whatever. I don't mind. I am pretty stoked to have a parent best friend. Okay, I'm going to do a last once over while we watch this. I might not talk because I might be a bit far to come back and pause, but let's see how it goes.
All right. This is a termination case.
I'm
And
sorry, Your Honor, I didn't think I needed an attorney, and so I'm not up on, it's a request to have, a 30-day termination and have my home back.
right, but
So I'm not up on the lingo that an attorney would have for you. And I submitted some paperwork and my statement about what's been happening.
okay. So let me
Why
ask a
wouldn't she
few
need
questions. Is there a lease?
an
No,
attorney?
sir.
There's no lease. Okay.
There's no lease. There was a verbal agreement. However, there was an ad that I included that they were aware of, and I gave them a lease, but it was never signed. And so we just went on a verbal.
Okay.
Month to month, and they were given notice back in December that I wanted them to leave. It was initially supposed to be temporary anyhow.
All right.
Because Sarah was pregnant.
I got it. So
Where'd he go?
They said they were going to be homeless and they knew I had a room for rent.
Right, I understand that, but. And. Has rent been paid?
Not for since December.
Okay.
And, you know, honestly, I told them not to pay rent and to just use that money towards their first and last months and to be able to get another place since they seem.
I got.
Oh, she's the owner.
So.
Okay, that
So
makes
I've been
sense.
paying for everything, including utilities and covering all expenses except for their.
Okay, I understand that. All right, what do you have to say about this?
So, Your Honor, when we moved in, actually, we were gardening for her. So, what she
Your
says,
wife?
I didn't know she was renting a room. I had discussed with her when we were working for her. I've worked for Miss King since me and my husband worked for her on and off since June of last year. But when I had my son in December and I was in the hospital, she started having issues with my partner and she never once stated she wanted me out. She kept going back and forth. She has 1 minute said she wanted me to go, the next minute said she didn't. 1 minute she wanted me to go, next minute she didn't. This woman has used her key to come in and out. She has assaulted me. She has thrown my belongings.
What?
She is really, honestly, to be honest with you, I've never gone through such a traumatic situation with somebody I didn't know, to be honest with you. Because I was working for Miss King, it's been a little difficult moving. Trying to find this whole month, I've literally been trying to get out. I don't actually want to be near her.
Let me stop you. Let me ask you this, because there are certain things that have to occur. Your answer that you filed indicates, well, for asking you, what day did you give the notice to the tenants that they have 30-day notice?
Sim, you will get an email that says it. Alternatively, if you go into YouTube Studio, I have an old one that was struck. Well, no, struck. You'll get an email. If there's a copyright problem, will it let me switch visibility to struck? I just quickly want to see if I can find one that has a copyright claim, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so it'll say under restrictions, it'll say copyright like that. Copyright protected content found. Owner allows content to be used on YouTube. But you'll get an email almost immediately, and it'll start off with saying it's restricted in some regions, and then it will basically, like, from that, another email will come through and probably say, like, it's been struck. Sachini, thank you so much. I have two that should have been struck. Like, what do you, like, you think they should have been, or what do you mean? Because it also depends if you're monetized or not. If you're monetized, then you will get a thing first saying add eligibility. I always get those two wrong. If you're not monetized, it just says the regions thing, which is that. And then you basically go through and you submit the copyright claim and say why you think that it shouldn't have been struck or whatever it is. If it's struck because it violates the guidelines, then they will send an email with what part of the guidelines. So like upsetting content or something like that. Also just realized I can pack my mic because I'm not using it right now. Because I'm at that stage now where a lot of the things that I need to pack are things that are currently in use and therefore cannot be packed. And the other thing I need to do is pack the dinner into the fridge. No emails not monetized. One is a copy of another's live. The other is a disguised copy of an old radio show. So have they been taken down, or like what makes you think that they have been struck or should have been struck? Because also if the email that YouTube account is linked to isn't your main email, there's a chance they emailed you and you didn't see it. But YouTube Studio is going to be where you'll see pretty much everything to do with it. So that's probably where the answer is going to lie. And until you're monetized, you don't really get much like help, and the support, you don't have like a support person. I only know the next steps. No transformative effects. Then it may be down for copyright, but you should be able to see in YouTube Studio. Because even that one of Oscar that I put up, I made it unlisted or private, one of the two. That still shows as struck, and I've deleted it. The live is still there, and the live is not struck because I won that. But they were created to see if they could get struck. Well, it's generally the owner of the content that has the bots and whatnot that go scanning to see if it's been reused. So if they aren't looking or are unaware that the content is there, that's not good, I just pulled this thing off, then you wouldn't. But you'll see like people who react to Netflix shows and that sort of thing, they are struck before they can even appeal, and then they appeal and it's fine. Okay, I'm going to put the dinner away, but I will still have my headphones on.
Well, Your Honor, if you can see, I had some paperwork. The fourth page shows my, on December 11th, I messaged both of them.
Well, that's not my question. My question is, in order to invoke the jurisdiction of the court to handle this, I have to have a valid notice.
Okay, well,
And
so I formally filed notice in March after Aaron begged me not to. Because
okay. I don't care what Aaron said. I don't care what anybody said. I'm asking you a specific question.
So emailing them both and giving them verbal notice that they.
Ma'am, listen very closely to me.
Okay.
There's a document that you have to file called a notice to quit. And the one that I have, or notice to quit to recover possession of property, the one that I have in the file indicates that you served it on them, that you delivered it personally to them on March 1st of 2024. Is that true?
Yeah, that was after asking them to leave. Yes, I did that then. And Sarah has never worked for me, has never been employed.
Okay, I really don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't mean to be crass, but I don't care. I'm asking a very specific question.
Okay, that was the only formal filing I did, yes, in March.
The notice to quit to recover possession of the premises indicates here that you served that to them on March 1st.
Correct.
You're indicating that you didn't get it until March 18th.
Yes, me personally. She and I discussed me staying, and on the 18th, when she assaulted me, that's when she told me and gave me this paper to leave. I noticed to quit.
Is that correct, ma'am?
It is not correct.
So you delivered it to her on March 1st?
Yes, and her husband.
Okay.
They're both aware of it. In fact, the
Well,
police-
whether or not they're aware of it or not,
Mhm.
I'm asking about the notice.
Yes, they were both given notice on that day. Yep.
All right, so at the top, on the copy I have,
Mhm.
there's a date under paragraph 2 that says you must move by, and it's scratched out, and then a new date is put on there. When was that new date put on there?
It was put on when it was served to them and given to them, because we had talked about it several times prior, and I had not given it to them. I gave it to them on the 1st. And that was written then.
Okay.
I hope this escalates a bit. There's a good
Rent,
fight
when it
here.
is paid, is monthly, is that correct?
Weekly, $180 a week.
Do you agree with that, ma'am?
I was trying to help them and I let them tell me what would work.
That's a
for
yes or
them.
no question.
And that was what Aaron suggested.
Okay, so let me try this.
Paying weekly, which has not happened since December. And that's because the police were out.
Okay, you guys let me know when you're done, and then I'll ask my question.
Okay, so you don't want me to say.
After this one, I'm gonna have to go.
Was the rent supposed to be paid monthly, but you allowed her to pay it weekly? Or
Also, I've
was
lost my phone.
the rental agreement weekly?
My normal thing would have been monthly, but they asked to pay it weekly. And I let them determine both their rent amount and how they wanted to do it because it was supposed to be temporary. They were being evicted and homeless. And so I just let them have the room and said, what would work, what can you afford until, you find another place.
Okay. Let me just try it again. Were you renting this out weekly to them or were you renting it out monthly to them?
I agreed to them weekly.
So it was
Because that's what they asked for.
so it was a weekly rental.
Yes.
And you would agree with that?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Miss King is very confusing, and I never had a conversation with her. My partner did. She never spoke to me. I was under the impression that it was monthly. The reason why we were paying weekly was because she was having him work for her and taking some off for the work that he did during the week for her. So that's why we paid weekly, because she would take off what amount he did for her. What amount of work he did for her, I'm sorry. It was confusing.
Is that true, ma'am?
Most of the, I asked them, most of the money went back to pay for, the reason they were there originally was because I needed someone to do my lawn.
She's insufferable.
Okay.
And so the rent would go back to Aaron to pay for him doing the lawn and some lawn care. Sarah was never received any money, but most of the rent went back. And that's what I use that rent for, is to pay for my yard because I'm ill and I can no longer do it myself. So he would pay me and then I would use the money to pay him for any work he did. And that stopped in December.
So hold it. And you would pay him weekly,
Yes.
but the tenancy. Okay, I'm going to tell you what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is that it really was a monthly tenancy, but that the reason you were getting the monies weekly is because that's how you paid him. And then you would deduct out, well, he would do work. You would be paying him for that work weekly. And then keeping whatever portion, and that would go to rent.
Well, Your Honor, this is the first time I've ever done that, but that was what he asked me to do. And so.
Okay. Doesn't really matter if it's the first time, 100th time. I'm just trying to figure out what this tenancy was. So again, let me explain what I'm hearing. What I'm hearing is Aaron worked for you. There was an agreed upon, whatever it was, amount of rent, whatever that was, that would have, had he worked someplace else, been paid to you monthly, right? But it wasn't paid monthly only because he worked for you. You would pay him for that work that was done. The rest you would retain for rent. Is that, am I correct? Because that's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I don't, I don't know what to tell you. I just did what they asked me to do. I was trying to help. And so, yeah, he would pay me. He asked to pay weekly, not because of me, but because that's what worked for him. He got paid each week. And I think it was a drug addiction problem and he wanted to keep things pretty tight.
What?
So he gave me the money and then the next week I would use that money to pay him for any work he did the following week.
That makes no sense.
And we had a verbal agreement that it was month to month and that either one of us.
Okay, then I'm done. I'm done. Because, and
Because it makes no sense.
oh, everybody didn't want to answer my question. I'm trying to figure out what the length of the tenancy is. There's a difference as to what has to happen if it's a week-to-week tenancy or whether a month-to-month. When you first got here, ma'am, you told me it was a month-to-month, which typically most rental situations are. But then there's this payment weekly.
Yeah.
But why does this weekly payment occur? Is it because they're renting weekly? No, they're renting monthly. The payment weekly only happens because that's how he's getting paid by you. And then you can pay him and then retain whatever there was for the rent. So really they were paying on their tenancy was for a month. It just got paid in these increments because of the work that was happening. Okay, so now
I'm glad he understood.
I've taken this long, circuitous route to try to get to my answer. It's a month to month. Do you have in front of you, ma'am, a copy of the notice to quit that I'm referencing that you sent to them?
I don't know that I do. So can I ask you a question, Your Honor?
He doesn't want to say yes.
So you're saying on a month to month that it doesn't matter that you have verbally asked people to leave and given them a verbal and written notice via email, and also that they've agreed to be out by the end of January, that none of that.
Ma'am, I don't know why you're asking me that, and I'm not going to answer that. I don't know that.
Well,
I
gave
had
you the emails. Okay. Right. I understand I needed an attorney today. And-
Well, you're going to need an attorney another day because do you have a copy of the notice to quit that you sent them?
I don't think I do.
All right. Let me tell you what the notice to quit that I have said. Notice to quit basically says in its relevant parts is that you've asked them under paragraph 2, and again, the original date is scratched out. And written in there is March 30th, 2024. What?
Correct. That sounds correct.
Why are you looking at me?
Mine says, same paragraph, paragraph 2. This is the first paper I got. You must move by 3/8/2024, and she scratched off the date prior to that. So I don't,
What are you talking about?
this is the first paper she ever gave me, the notice to quit. Oh, maybe this is the 30-day notice? I don't know what.
Well, let me,
I have no idea.
I hope there's going to be shops open tomorrow morning for me to get snacks. Planes never have enough food.
ma'am, did you give this to her? Show
Oh,
that
no.
to the plaintiff.
Show us too. Show us.
Well, it's my writing. Yes, I probably did give that.
And that says 3/8. So why does the one I have for the court say 3/4?
I don't know, except that I didn't file with the court. Aaron begged me not to file anything with the court because he said it would send him to jail.
Okay, I don't know how that happens, but it doesn't really matter. You have to, in order for the court to hear the matter, there has to be a valid notice to quit. Otherwise, because I'm a statutory court, I don't get what's called subject matter jurisdiction to even hear the case.
Subject matter jurisdiction.
So there are two problems here. One, which was the one I was getting to when I read off, when I was reading the dates, and why I was asking what the rental period was. It sounds to me, and you said it, that this is a month to month, which means you have to give them a month's notice. The notice that I have in the file is given to them on the 1st, according to you, is given to them on March 1st, telling them that they have to leave by March 30th. Even if I were being generous under the computation of time that's used under the Michigan court rules, that would be 29 days, which means you haven't given them a rental period to move if it's a month to month. So I don't believe that the court has obtained subject matter jurisdiction. I am also now concerned, as Ms. Goebbels then gives me a copy of the notice that she received, that it has a different date than the one that the court has. Even if I were to take that date as true, that gives 1 week, actually less than 1 week, but it gives 1 week for them to move out. Everybody, at least at this point, and I'll make the finding that this is a month-to-month tenancy. That's an insufficient notice in terms of the one that you gave her.
Bare minimum.
At the beginning of April
What would be at the beginning of April?
for them to move out, given a notice on March 1st.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, it's clear that I needed an attorney
Yes, you do.
and I couldn't afford.
And so we can stop this now because I can't do anything legally.
I thought you were going to say I can't do this anymore.
Do is I can dismiss this case because this court does not have subject matter jurisdiction to decide it. Case dismissed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good day.
I was happy with that one. All right, before we get stuck into anything else, I got to say goodbye. I will see you guys when I'm in Zurich. And if I go on a live, it might be like on my phone just to show you what I'm seeing. I haven't got a crime tour planned for there, but Edinburgh I do. So, yeah. Thank you for hanging out with me while I pack. Got things done pretty damn quickly because of people watching. Have a good weekend. Bye.